Welcome to part 9 of Algorand for Visual Studio. In this video, we will use a project template to make a smart signature and use it to check if a payment transaction should contain a note field or not, using a signature argument. We will start by creating a smart signature using a project template. Select the Algorand Smart Signature project template and give it a name. Make sure the dependencies are updated. Notice we have a signatures folder. Open the generated basic signature example. We can see that the signature inherits from the Smart Signature class. The only override we must implement is program. It contains an invoke Smart Signature method, which compiles to a router that selects the method to call based on an input argument. In this case, the argument is labeled auth, and we use the custom attribute to direct the router. Next, we see some strongly recommended security checks verifying that the accompanying transaction does not attempt to do something unwanted, and checking the type is payment. Notice that the ABI method expects an input payment transaction. Finally, the method checks if the transaction note is empty and if that is allowed. Returning 0 indicates that the logic signature should fail, 1 being success. As usual, the compiler operates in real time, so we can navigate to the Algo Studio component under Dependencies and have a look at the TL. To use the smart signature, we can generate a so-called proxy that will allow the ABI method to be called during signature execution. In this case, we have placed it in the signers folder. Open the file to inspect it. We can see in its constructor that it takes a .NET SDK logic signature. The authorize payment with note simply sets arguments to the logic signature using the correct encoding. Going back to our main program, we first use the boilerplate to set up a sandbox connection. Then we grab the predefined accounts. Then we create a payment transaction based on current network parameters. Then we create an instance of our transpiled TL signature and ask the Algod node to compile it to bytecode. This returns a .NET SDK logic signature, an alias for smart signature. Next, we get an instance of our signer proxy that wraps the logic signature, and we call our ABI method to disallow payment transactions with empty notes. This configures the logic signature so that our ABI method is called when the transaction is processed and the signature checked. We then sign the logic signature with the account that will be used as the source of funds. This means that if you give the logic signature to someone else, they will have access to that account, but only, in this case, if the note is empty and if they set the argument to check it. The logic signature is attached to the payment transaction and then it is sent to the network for evaluation. Here the payment transaction was created with an empty string note, so it should fail because our ABI method is set to fail the transaction if the argument to allow empty notes is set to false. Let's run the application and see if the exception is thrown. The output is as expected, that the transaction is rejected by the logic. So in summary, in this video we went through the process of developing a smart signature in C#, signing it by an account holder, and then giving it to someone else to sign a transaction from that account. We also demonstrated the use of arguments to allow the signature holder to switch or configure the type of delegation they want. Thank you for watching.